हेलो दोस्तों, दिस इज भारत कुमार एंड यू आर वाचिंग माय चैनल निर्मल इन्फो अपडेट्स।
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
In a strong reaction to Nepal releasing a new political map showing areas like Lipulik and Kalapani under its territory, India on Wednesday said such artificial enlargement of territorial claims will not be acceptable to it and asked the neighboring country to refrain from unjustified cartographic assertion. India's reaction came hours after the Nepal government released a revised political and administrative map of the country showing Limpiyatre, Lipulik and Kalapani under its territory. This unilateral act is not based on historical facts and evidence. It is contrary to the bilateral understanding to resolve the outstanding boundary issues through diplomatic dialogue, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Enrique Srivastava said. Such artificial enlargement of territorial claims will not be accepted by India, he said. Srivastava also asked Nepal to respect India's sovereignty and territorial integrity, hoping that the Nepalese leadership will create a positive atmosphere for diplomatic dialogue to resolve the outstanding boundary issues. Nepal is well aware of India's consistent position on this matter and we urge the government of Nepal to refrain from such unjustified cartographic assertion and respect India's sovereignty and territorial integrity, he said. The new map was released by Nepal's Land Reforms Minister Padma Aryal during a televised press conference in Kathmandu. The Lipulik Pass is a far western point near Kalapani. Both India and Nepal claim Kalapani as an integral part of their territory. India is part of Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh district and Nepal is part of Darkula district. Nepalese Foreign Minister Bharat Kumar last week summoned Indian Ambassador Vinay Mohan Kanwatre and handed over a diplomatic note to protest against to India inaugurating a key road connecting the Lipulik Pass with Darkula in Uttarakhand. India has maintained that the road section in Pithoragarh district in Uttarakhand lies completely within its territory. Days later, Indian Army Chief General Naravan said that there were reasons to believe that Nepal objected to the road at the behest of someone else, in an apparent reference to a possible role by China on the matter. The Pacific Fleet submarine force took the unusual step this month of announcing that all of its forward deployed subs were simultaneously conducting contingency response operations at sea in the Western Pacific, downplaying the notion that Navy forces have been hampered by COVID-19. The sub force said the missions were mounted in support of the Pentagon's free and open Indo-Pacific policy aimed at countering China's expansionism in the South China Sea. At least 7 submarines, and likely more, including all 4 Guam-based attack submarines, the San Diego-based USS Alexandria and multiple Hawaii-based vessels, are part of the effort. The action also highlights the Pentagon's desire to be flexible and unpredictable in great power competition with China and Russia. Our operations are a demonstration of our willingness to defend our interests and freedoms under international law, Rear Admiral Blake Converse, Pacific Force Commander, who is based at Pearl Harbor, said in a May 8 release. Attack submarines maintain an outsized stealth capability to sink ships with torpedoes, fire Tomahawk cruise missiles and conduct covert surveillance while keeping adversaries guessing their location. The Navy recently has maintained a flotilla of warships in the Western Pacific as a show of force and proof that COVID-19 hasn't significantly degraded its capabilities, with the United States and China long trading barks over military activities in the South China Sea and increasingly so over each other's pandemic response. China has been accused of intensifying its occupation of man-made islands and bullying other nations in the region while much of the world has been focused on the pandemic. Geopolitical intelligence platform Stratfor said that the U.S. and China have maintained a robust operational pace in the South China Sea amid heightening tensions and COVID-19, signs that point to continued escalation after the virus wanes. When the Navy advertises the presence of its usually unseen submarines, it's often to make a point with an adversary. The Navy released a photo of the Los Angeles-class sub Alexandria transiting April Harbor in Guam on May 5. As the U.S. military addresses COVID-19 at home, we remain focused on our national security missions around the world, Defense Secretary Mark Esper said the same day. Many countries have turned inward to recover from the pandemic, and in the meantime our strategic competitors are attempting to exploit this crisis to their benefit at the expense of others, Esper said. He accused the Chinese Communist Party of ramping up a disinformation campaign to shift blame for the virus and burnish its image. All the while, we continue to see aggressive behavior by the PLA, People's Liberation Army, in the South China Sea, from threatening a Philippine Navy ship to sinking a Vietnamese fishing boat and intimidating other nations from engaging in offshore oil and gas development. Esper said 2 Navy ships conducted freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea the week before to send a clear message to Beijing that we continue to protect freedom of navigation and commerce for all nations large and small. The guided missile cruiser USS Bunker Hill conducted a phone-up in the Spratly Islands, and the destroyer USS Barry sailed twice through the Taiwan Strait and through the Paris Islands in disputed territory that China claims as its own. These provocative acts by the U.S. side have seriously violated China's sovereignty and security interests, deliberately increased regional security risks and could easily trigger an unexpected incident, the South China Morning Post quoted a Chinese military command saying after the Barry's Paris passage. The aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt has been sidelining Guam since late March after experiencing an outbreak of the new coronavirus among its 800-member crew. U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor has been quick to note the ongoing deployment of other assets in the region, including transits of the South China Sea by the littoral combat ship USS Gabrielle Giffords, the destroyer USS Rafael Peralta sailing in the East China Sea and the destroyer USS McCampbell passing through that Taiwan Strait on Wednesday. Eager for a chance to discuss something other than COVID-19, many Bangaloreans took to social media on Wednesday after hearing a loud bang that could be felt across the city. Police sources ruled out an explosion, while an earthquake was also discounted. Now, the Ministry of Defense has confirmed that the sound was caused by a military aircraft going supersonic. It was a routine IAF test flight involving a supersonic profile which took off from Banglore Airport and flew in the allotted airspace well outside city limits. The aircraft was of Aircraft Systems and Testing Establishment, ASTA, whose test pilots and flight test engineers routinely test out all airplanes, a tweet by the pro-Bangalore Ministry of Defense said. The sonic boom was probably heard while the aircraft was decelerating from supersonic to subsonic speed between 36,000 and 40,000 feet altitude, the MOD added. The aircraft was far away from the city limits when this occurred. The sound of a sonic boom can be heard and felt by an observer even when the aircraft is flying as far away as 65 to 80 kilometers away from the person according to their profile. The ASTA conducts flight testing of aircraft, airborne systems and weapons stores prior to their induction into the Indian Air Force, IAF. Additionally, ASTA undertakes flight testing of airborne systems designed and developed by agencies such as DRDO for IAF. The MOD did not confirm which aircraft caused the sonic boom, although media reports suggest that it was Su-30 MKI. Among the IAF's arsenal are 7 fighter jets capable of going supersonic. The MiG-21, MiG-29, Su-30 MKI, the Mirage 2000, Dassault Rafale and Beckett Jaguar. Since ASTA conducts tests of aircraft prior to being inducted, the plane is likely one that was either recently upgraded or purchased for the IAF. Both the Su-30 MKI and the Mirage 2000 are due upgrades, with the latter's upgrade process having begun. In addition, flight testing of the combat-capable LCH-7K1A is estimated to continue until 2022.